Dear listeners and viewers, in the first part of the summary, I had summarized till scene 6 of the great play Thughlaq. We see how Tughlaq brilliantly and intelligently as well as strategically faces the conspiracy against him, and he escapes bravely. Thereafter, he bans on the prayer. He declares that until and unless the descendant of the Caliph of Arab, Ghiyasuddin Abbasids, comes to the kingdom and the land is not purified, ban on prayer will not be lifted. And one thing I would like to mention here, that the author tries to recreate the reign of Sultan from the year 1325 to 1351. The capital is shifted from Delhi to Daulatabad in the year 1929, and token currency of brass and copper having equal value of gold and silver are introduced in the year 1330. Tughlaq never looks at the repercussions and implications of his plans. He never thinks that whether people will accept his currencies or not. Yet he listens to none and introduces his token currency. After the happening that happened during the prayer with him, the Sultan is not so confident as he earlier used to be. The Aziz, who is a very shrewd person, reads the psyche and mind of Sultan. He is accompanying Tughlaq from Delhi to Daulatabad, and on the way he says to Sultan that only a few months in Delhi and I have discovered a new world of politics. It is a beautiful world, wealth, successes, portion, yet it is full of blameless people. This statement is made by Aziz deliberately to make the Sultan happy. However, Sultan says, I was 21 when I came to Daulatabad first and built the fort. And I said to myself one day I shall build my history brick by brick. Meanwhile, he gets a very difficult news which shatters him. He is bewildered to listen the news about the death of Najib, who has been poisoned to death by his own stepmother. A small scene, number 9, occurs in which we find that it has been depicted in a satirical and ironical manner. Ghiyasuddin Abbasid, a descendant of the Khalifa of Arab, comes, but Aziz murders him and dances. He disguises himself as a Ghiyasuddin, and Tughlaq is unable to recognize him. He kneels down before him. Tughlaq is then facing a loss of his followers one by one, and his plans are also not being well executed. Fake currency is not accepted by the people, and a large or huge number of fake currencies are minted on bronze and copper. Here it is to be mentioned that the currency of bronze and copper bear the same value of those of gold and silver. Thus, fake currencies are flowing in the market. The Sultan is forced to take back all the currencies. He uses 500 vehicles which are filled with fake currencies, and they are dumped in the palace, in the fort of Sultan at Daulatabad. His stepmother confesses that she has poisoned Najib because she is afraid of his influences on Sultan, which may be fatal to him. Sultan is totally shattered. He says, "My skin drips with blood, and I do not know how much of it is mine and how much of others. I started in search of you, Lord, why I am wandering naked in desert." This shows his agony, devastated soul. Brani comes and says to Sultan that the descendant of Caliph has reached. It is interesting that Brani also does not recognize Aziz, that he is not the real Ghiyasuddin. But Tughlaq is not enthusiastic to hear this news. He is shattered, he is bewildered, and it is a very difficult time for him to take a decision. And he finally orders his mother to be stoned to death, and she is stoned to death brutally. Meanwhile, Aziz reaches in the guise of Ghiyasuddin Abbasid. A Hindu woman tries to reveal, but she is not allowed to speak. In between, riots take place. This means Sultan has lost his control over his kingdom. There is a conversation between Azam and Aziz. Azam is afraid and wants to leave the palace as quickly as possible. But Aziz does not allow him, since he knows Azam may reveal the reality, and he kills him. Thus, Aziz becomes the most fatal man in the whole play. However, Brani comes to Sultan and seeks his permission to go home, since his mother is dead now. He also says that he will not return. Now Sultan is left all alone. All of his well-wishers are no longer alive. Aziz sincerely and boldly confesses everything and narrates everything to Sultan. He says, I am your disciple. When Sultan asks Aziz, are you not afraid of death? Aziz says, a philosophical thing, which is as, this was a human life, was worth, this was the real meaning of mystery of death, a straw and a stem. Hence life has no meaning. Thus, Tughlaq realizes what he has lost. He realizes about his all plans. He says to Brani, you may go, Brani, and says, all need is myself and my madness. I have a companion to share. My madness and now the omnipresent God. This statement by Tughlaq vividly speaks how much he is bruised and broken, that he himself is telling about his madness. He finally hands over Deccan to Aziz and goes to sleep, and the play comes to an end. Now, the listeners, you must have understood the whole summary of the play. In the next video, I will be coming with a critical analysis of the whole play. Of course, symbolism will bear another video. The critical analysis will speak how the play is political allegory. It is a historical play and as well as an existentialist play. Thank you. If you like my description and narration, please subscribe my channel English Wala and share with your friends. Thank you.